Assalamu alaikum children, and welcome to another episode of Qasasul Atfal. My name is Samira and I'll be keeping you company for the next whole hour. Now this is our special time where we get to learn the fun way. We read stories and we watch cartoons and we learn about everything around us. Come a little closer, hold my hand. Let's go to that secret place where there's no adults allowed. Let's learn about Islam and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let's dream about Jannah and find ways to make Allah happy. Today, children, we're going to start off with a cartoon. So let's get started. Children, what's your favorite cartoon? I like them all. What's your favorite? I want to play it over and over again. Why not send me an email on samira@itvnetworks.tv. Let's go watch another one now. Welcome back, children. Let's read a story now, and this one is called The Exam. I hate Adam, shouted Halima, stamping her foot. That's a naughty thing to say, said Mummy. You can't hate your own brother. I do. He's mean to me, said Halima. He's always troubling me and always teasing me. The fact was, Adam was being quite horrid lately. There was something wrong. He did lots of little things to annoy her. For example, he'd quietly whisper terrible names to her, and then she'd shout at him loudly. Adam and Halima's mummy would hear her and then shout at her, and she would get into trouble. Adam then acted innocent, and when Daddy wasn't looking, Adam would grin and smile at her behind his back. When she asked him to play with her, he refused, even when she said please. Adam shook his head and said, "These games are so boring. Besides, I have more important things to do, like homework and studying," he would reply. "You're no fun anymore," said Halima, and she would get angry with him and go away. The last straw was when Mummy said that she couldn't play computer games because Adam had an important exam to study for. He was studying in the room where the computer was, and it had to stay off so that he wouldn't be distracted. Children, when you study, does Mummy switch off the TV and the computer and all of your games too? I can't wait. Email me and tell me all about you. Then it's not fair, said Halima in frustration. Adam made a face at her and pulled tongue at her when Mummy wasn't looking. Halima decided she really did hate her brother. Besides, hadn't their parents always taught them? A Muslim is one from whose hands and tongue other Muslims are safe. Adam wasn't being a good boy lately. He was being very nasty to her. She laid on her bed that night and thought to herself, "He's getting all Mummy and Daddy's attention because he's writing some silly exam. I hope it's horrible," she said. But little Halima didn't realize what she was saying. Let's read on with our story now. A bit later, she decided to go downstairs. She tiptoed down just past Adam's room and peeped inside. Halima stopped. Her brother was sitting on his bed, staring down at his book. He had a funny look on his face. It wasn't his usual look. He stared down and looked up when he saw Halima in the doorway. He looked at her very tired. That's strange. He never ever looks like that, she thought. Go away and please don't bother me, he said. Why? Asked Halima, stepping into the room. Because I'm busy, he replied. What's wrong? You look so worried, Adam, said Halima. Is this exam so important? Adam flopped down on his bed, looking drained, exhausted, and tired. Are you worried? She asked, very concerned. He just nodded without saying anything. Halima was amazed. She always thought that nothing bothered her brother. But why? This isn't your first exam. You've written so many before, she asked. Yes, but this is the first time that I have stiff competition, and it's a little bit difficult. I'm afraid I won't get first, second, or even third position. That's not everything, Adam, she said. Besides, Mummy and Daddy will be checking your percentage and not how well you did in school. If you try your hardest, I'm sure they'll appreciate it. You're right, said Adam. I'm stressing for nothing. He leaned across and touched her cheek. Thanks, Halima. I'm sorry for being so nasty. Can you forgive me? Of course, said Halima. But don't tell anyone I was scared, okay? Said Adam. Ha ha, only if you promise to be nice to me. She then realized she didn't really hate her brother. She just sometimes hated his actions. After all, he really was her brother, and he was family at the end. Children, do you sometimes fight with your brothers and sisters? Does it make it difficult not to say that you hate them? Well, think about this. At the end, they're your family, and they are yours. Allah has given them to you to be close to you. So look after them, treat them well, and inshallah, if you respect them, then Allah will reward you. No matter what, will you remember that? I hope so. Let's go for a quick break, and when we come back, I'll read you another story. Welcome back, children. Let's read another story. This one is called The Frog. It was definitely there. Rahma was sure of it. There were strange sounds in the air. It could only mean one thing. There was a frog under her brother's bed. Not that it would bother him. He was fast asleep and always slept like a log. However, she slept very lightly, and the smallest of sounds would disturb her. She had to get rid of it, or she wouldn't get a peaceful sleep. Mummy, she called out. Mummy came in a few minutes later, looking tired and sleepy. What's the matter? She asked. There's a frog under Bilal's bed. I heard it quite distinctly, she said. Mummy smiled and said, Well, we'll just have to check, won't we? She went down on her hands and knees and looked under Bilal's bed. Bilal didn't wake up. Mummy pulled out a sock, a pair of slippers, a pen, and a ball too. But definitely no frog. There's no frog under this bed, said Mummy. She pushed the packet into place. Go back to sleep. And remember to read your kalimas and du'as so that you can get a peaceful night rest. Then all of a sudden, Mummy left the room. Rahma woke up a few minutes later. There was another sound. The alarm clock was ringing. It was time for Fajr Salah. She laid there still, and all of a sudden, she heard something again. It was the same noise over and over again. She was too scared to put her legs out of the bed. What if the frog jumped on her? Oh no, that would be terrible, she said. She listened as the azan was called. Mummy, please come here, she called again. Make your dua for waking up and then jump out of bed, said Mummy. Turning to Bilal, she softly woke him up. She said, Wake up, Bilal, it's time for Fajr Salah. Bilal woke up slowly, but she noticed that Rahma wasn't getting out of bed and listening. Why are you wasting time today, Rahma? She asked. Don't you realize that you're getting late for Salah? I'm frightened to put my foot down. I heard that sound again, she said. Just then, Bilal sat up and the sound got even louder. I heard it. Did you hear it, Mummy? Children, did you hear the sound too? Let's find out what it was. Their eyes opened wide and they found the culprit. Around little Bilal's ankle was a thin, clear packet. As he moved, it rustled and it made a sound. Rahma felt very foolish and grinned at her mummy. Well, it's not a frog, but a packet that frightened you, said Mummy. She then walked across, helped Rahma out of bed and said, Hurry up now, don't waste another second. It's time for Fajr Salah. Rahma breathed a sigh of relief. She knew that her phobia for frogs was silly. She read her Salah, she lifted her hands, and she thanked Allah that it wasn't a frog, but just a little packet. Children, what makes you scared? Don't ever forget, Allah is always there. Now, we've come to the end of another show. Don't worry, we'll be back again soon. Don't forget to email me on samira@itvnetworks.tv. Until next time, fi amanillah, assalamu alaikum, and tata.
Ba-dum.